Have you been on a low-carb diet like keto and now want to move away from it? You've done research and now know that plant-based eating will be best for your health. But how do you make this transition? You want to get healthier but not gain more weight. You're actually hoping the scales will tip more in the other direction. So how do you achieve this? We're going to talk about this today. In this third summer series episode highlighting community questions, I'll show you the best way to move from a high-fat, high-protein diet to a plant-based diet one, so you can be more confident in your transition and know you're also moving well towards reaching your weight goals. Grab your earbuds and join me on the inside. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi friend, do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. Every so often, I make a post in my free Beginners for Plant-Based Diet Success community, asking if there are any questions members would like answered on the podcast. And recently, a new member named Vanessa commented to say, I am wondering about transitioning from a keto diet to plant-based and not regaining weight. This is my current situation, and I would love to know more about it. I'm currently vegetarian for the past 3 weeks. I thought this was a great topic to talk about and a situation that I am sure many of you, my listeners, can relate to as well. So let's get into this now. I want to first address a certain concern. It's the worry around carbohydrates. There's a popular belief that all carbohydrates are bad because they are just sugar and so they will make you gain weight. And so, there can be a real fear about eating foods containing carbohydrates. But what many people don't realize is that there are different kinds of carbohydrates. And as it turns out, the main kind of carbohydrates found in whole plant-based foods is not just beneficial for our bodies, but can also help with weight loss. These complex carbohydrates include starch and fiber, which help us stay fuller for longer and also help rev up our metabolism through various pathways. If you would like to learn more about this, listen to episode 43, Are Plant-Based Diets Too High Carb for Those with Diabetes? After this episode, of course. I'll link that episode for you in the show notes so that you can access it easily. So what's the best way to move from a keto diet to a plant-based one and not regain weight? The best way would be to focus on the right plant-based foods. You'll want to fill your plate with nutrient and fiber-rich natural whole plant-based foods that are, as much as possible, unprocessed or minimally processed. These are foods such as leafy greens, starchy tubers, fruits, beans, lentils, chickpeas, mushrooms, and whole grains. Not only are these foods naturally packed with nutrients, they're also low caloric density foods, which is beneficial if you're wanting to reach weight goals. In fact, these are much better choices than highly processed vegan commercial food products, which often come not only with less nutrients, but also with added salt, oils, and sugars. These foods are much more likely to give you additional unnecessary calories to your day. Just think of eating a 35-gram or 1¼ ounce bag of Lay's classic potato chips compared to 170 grams of cooked quinoa. The package of Lay's classic potato chips, which is technically a vegan product because it is made from potatoes, oil, and salt, would give you 200 calories, 2 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber, and 210 milligrams of sodium. The 170 grams of cooked quinoa, which is a whole grain, is nearly a cup's worth, and it would give you also about 200 calories. But in contrast, the cooked quinoa comes with more than double the amount of protein, nearly 1.5 times the fiber, and 30 times less sodium. See the difference? I want you to remember this too. If you're moving from a high-protein, high-fat keto diet, you'll also be moving away from eating a lot of high-fat, meat-based foods and added oils, which can be very calorically rich. And that's a good thing. Imagine taking in 2 tablespoons worth of oil and have that already be 270 calories. Now compare this to eating 270 calories worth of cooked kidney beans. This would mean nearly 1.25 cups of kidney beans, and you would also gain more than 18 grams of protein and 11 grams of fiber. So by moving away from added oils and fatty foods and choosing instead a low-fat, whole food plant-based diet, you'll actually be helping yourself on the weight loss front, because you'll likely find yourself feeling more satisfied on natural whole foods and eating less total calories by the end of the day. That's what research is showing. Since nuts are quite calorically dense though, you may want to hold off on them for the moment during this diet transition phase if your goal is to maintain or lose weight. So today we looked at the key question of how to move from a keto diet to a plant-based one without regaining weight. And I showed that in order to do this, you need to focus on filling your plates with the right plant-based foods. These would be minimally processed or unprocessed whole plant-based foods, such as fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains. These foods are all nutrient-rich but have low caloric density. However, nuts are high in caloric density and are best to be avoided or limited for the moment if you are wanting to maintain or lose weight, even though they are a good source of many nutrients. Now here's an action step you can consider taking based on today's episode. On your next grocery trip, resolve to put more natural, fresh, dried, or frozen whole plant-based foods into your shopping cart and less vegan processed snacks and other packaged food products. Friend, do you feel you've been on every diet under the sun, yet none of it seemed to have really helped? The weight just doesn't seem to stay off. I've talked to so many who have gone through this yo-yo dieting, and the end result is the same. You feel frustrated and defeated and wish you can find a way that can really stick and be doable over the long term. Well, if you need support to make plant-based eating a lasting lifestyle and one that is both sustainable and enjoyable, reach out to me. Send me an email at healthnow@plantnourish.com or use the contact options in the show notes, and let's talk about it. I've helped so many get on this path to better health and build a plant-powered lifestyle they love, and I want the same for you. Let's see how we can work together to help you reach your health and weight goals. Thank you for listening to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. If this podcast has helped you, please rate and leave a written review on the Apple Podcast app or iTunes to let me know. Nothing will lift me up more than to read your review and see how this podcast has made a difference in your life. I also pick reviews to read on this show, so your review could be one of them. Come connect with me in my free Facebook community group, Beginners for Plant-Based Diet Success. Just go to bit.ly/pb Diet Success. That's bit.ly/pb Diet Success. You can also subscribe and follow this podcast to get notified when a new episode goes live. Signing off now, this is Anna, and I wish you the best health always.